Welcome to the Kitty Cat Go Adventure podcast, where we discuss various topics related to cat adventure, travel, training, and enrichment. I'm your host, Emily Hall, cat trainer and cat adventure enthusiast. Join me as I share my own tips and advice and chat with the experts to help and encourage you to give your cat the best life possible. Remember, no adventure is too big or too small. I can't wait to learn, grow, and explore with you. What's the best cat harness? Which harness should I get for my cat? These are probably two of the most common questions that come up in the cat adventure community, and understandably so. Your cat's harness is one of the most important pieces of gear you'll use to explore safely outdoors together. It makes sense that we'd all be looking for the best one, and trying to make a choice from all the different styles and brands out there can be overwhelming. I'm going to do my best to give you all the information you need to make your selection, but the truth is, there is no one-size-fits-all answer. What works best for one cat might not be what works best for another. Sure, there are absolutely harnesses out there that are better made and safer than others, but there is no one best cat harness. To make the best decision for you and your cat, you'll need to weigh the pros and cons of each style and figure out which features are most important to you. You'll also need to consider the types of adventures you plan to go on. It's important to keep in mind that your cat's body type and preferences will also come into play. You will likely have to try a couple different harnesses before you find the one that best suits your cat. Before we get into all the harness details, I first want to address the question about whether or not you can use a collar to attach a leash to and walk your cat instead of a harness. If your cat is already used to wearing a collar, it may be tempting to skip the harness selection and training process altogether and just walk your cat on their collar. While I definitely recommend that your cat wear a collar with identification and possibly even a tracking device attached, you should never attach a leash to your cat's collar. The reasons for this really come down to safety and comfort. When you attach a leash to a cat's collar, it automatically puts all the pulling pressure on their neck and throat. At best, this is uncomfortable for your cat, and at worst, it can cause damage and injury. Even if your cat doesn't pull on the leash normally, there is always a risk they might try to quickly run away if something frightens them. With a collar, a situation like that could be dangerous. A harness, on the other hand, distributes any pulling pressure more evenly across your cat's chest and body. Typically, the strap that goes around your cat's neck is wider than a collar, making it safer and more comfortable. Many harnesses also have a piece that covers your cat's chest, which I definitely recommend if your cat is a leash puller. Aside from the risk of neck injury, collars aren't secure enough for walking. Not only are most cat collars breakaway, meaning the clasp pops open if there is enough pressure put on it, and I definitely recommend using a breakaway collar, they are also easier to slip out of. Cats are pros at maneuvering out of things, and it doesn't take much to slip out of a collar. While harnesses are not 100% escape-proof, they are much more secure than a collar, which makes them a safer option for leash walking. Okay, so now that we've established that you do indeed need a harness to be able to safely adventure outside with your cat, let's get into the details on how to choose one. First, as I just mentioned, it's important to know that there is no such thing as an escape-proof cat harness. While some companies may claim that theirs is escape-proof, I guarantee you that there is some cat somewhere that can escape it. You should never put your trust only in the harness to keep your cat from escaping. I have a video on my Kitty Cat Go YouTube channel called 7 Ways to Prevent Cat Harness Escapes that goes into more detail on this if you're interested, and I plan to do a future podcast episode on it as well. In the meantime, when it comes to choosing a harness, you want to make sure it has the following features. Adjustable straps. You definitely want adjustable straps that go around your cat's neck and girth at the very least. Bonus points if the harness also has adjustability in other areas, like the strap that goes down your cat's back. Whether the straps are adjusted with sliding buckles or Velcro comes down to personal preference. A solid D-ring on the back for the leash attachment. The D-ring placement can vary from harness to harness. Some harnesses have the D-ring on the very edge of the back of the harness, while others have them in the center of the back. While the D-ring placement comes down to personal preference somewhat, it's important to note that when the D-ring is placed on the very back edge of the harness, it does make it a bit easier for your cat to be able to back out of their harness than when the D-ring is placed in the center of the back. Either way, you want to make sure the D-ring is solid and secured well. Lightweight yet durable. You want a harness that will hold up well against general wear and tear, but you also want one that is not going to be too hot or too heavy. A heavy harness is more likely to weigh your cat down. Look for breathable fabrics that will help to keep your cat cooler in warmer months. Easy to put on. It's important that you'll be able to quickly and easily get the harness on and off your cat. The more time it takes and the more difficult it is to put it on or take it off, the more likely your cat is to get frustrated with the process. Keep in mind, too, that many cats are not comfortable with a harness that slips over their head. These can be more difficult to get your cat comfortable with, so it might be easier to start with a harness that does not require you to put it over your cat's head. A few optional features to look for in a harness include a piece that covers your cat's chest. If your cat pulls on the leash, a chest piece will help to distribute the pulling pressure across your cat's chest rather than their throat, like we just talked about. Too much pressure on your cat's throat can possibly cause injury. Wider neck straps will also help. Reflective or high visibility material. Reflective material or additions to the harness are a great safety feature. These will make it easier to spot your cat in the dark or if they hide in a dark space, such as under a bush. A pocket or place to attach a tracking device. I definitely recommend using a tracking device of some sort when going outdoors with your cat, as these will help increase the chances of you being reunited with your cat quickly should they ever escape. Whether you attach the device to your cat's collar or harness is a matter of personal preference. Pros to putting the tracking device on your cat's harness include that it's less intrusive, and if your cat's collar falls off and there are ID tags with it, then you can still rely on the tracker on your cat's harness. Cons to putting the tracking device on your cat's harness is that it does no good if your cat slips out of their harness. Some people even opt to use 2 tracking devices, one on their cat's collar and one on their cat's harness. Are you a cat adventurer looking for ways to strengthen that bond between you and your cat? New cat enrichment ideas? And encouragement and inspiration to explore the world together? Bond with your cat like never before by joining Kitty Cat Go Trailblazers, a community of cats and humans from all over the world who are ready and waiting to support and encourage you on your cat adventure journey. Over in Trailblazers, you'll find monthly challenges and activities designed to give you fresh ideas of things to do and new ways to explore with your cat, both indoors and outdoors. You'll also be able to connect face-to-face with other community members during our monthly Zoom chats. Trailblazers is made up of cat adventurers of all experience levels who are all ready to share in your victories and struggles and to help you and your cat reach your goals. You'll find yourself right at home amongst your tribe. Learn more at kittycatgo.com/trailblazers. Now, there are several popular styles of harnesses, and many of them include all or some of these features. I will be sharing more details about the most popular harness styles, along with their pros and cons, but it helps to have a visual. To find photos of each of the harness styles mentioned in this episode, be sure to check out the show notes. Depending on where you're listening to this episode, you can find the show notes link in the episode description of your podcast player, or you can go to kittycatgo.com/podcast and search for this specific episode. Okay, so the first harness style I want to share about is the Roman harness. The Roman harness is a lightweight, no-bulk cat harness. It consists of a thin piece that goes around your cat's girth, which is behind their front legs or around their ribs, and another piece that goes around your cat's neck. These 2 pieces are connected by additional pieces that run along your cat's back and another that runs down your cat's chest between their front legs. The pieces that go around your cat's neck and body can easily be adjusted for a personalized fit. With some Roman harnesses, the pieces that run along the back and chest can be adjusted as well. Pros of this harness style include that it's lightweight and not bulky, it's very adjustable, it's secure, difficult but not impossible for your cat to slip out of, and it's commonly found in a lot of big box pet stores. Some cons are that it's not the easiest to put on. Some cats don't find the strappy designed to be comfortable, and with some versions, you have to put it over your cat's head, which some cats don't like. The H-style harness is very similar to the Roman harness. The only difference is that it doesn't have the piece that runs down your cat's chest between their front legs. The downside to this harness is that without that chest piece, any pulling pressure will all be directed on your cat's throat rather than across their chest, which can be a problem if your cat pulls on the leash. Pros include that it's lightweight and not bulky, it's adjustable, and it's secure, difficult but not impossible for your cat to slip out of. Cons are that the chance of injury to your cat's neck and throat is higher, and with some versions, you have to put it over your cat's head, which some cats don't like. The step-in harness is probably one of the easiest harnesses to put on your cat. It consists of a chest piece and straps that form 2 holes, one for each of your cat's legs. Your cat steps in the harness and you pull it up against their chest and it buckles behind their shoulder blades. Because there are no straps that go around your cat's neck, you don't have to worry about any pressure being put on your cat's throat. It's a no-fuss, comfortable harness. The downside to the step-in harness is that it's not the most secure. Because there is no piece that goes around your cat's neck, it makes it a lot easier for your cat to be able to back out of the harness. Pros are that it's not bulky, it's easy to put on, it's adjustable, all pulling pressure is directed on your cat's chest instead of their throat, and it's commonly found in a lot of big box pet stores. Cons of the step-in harness are that they are much easier for your cat to back out of. The vest-style cat harness is another popular style. It has a piece that goes around your cat's neck, one that runs down your cat's chest and in between their front legs, and another piece that runs along the back and connects the neck piece to the piece that goes around your cat's ribs. It's sort of like a cross between a Roman harness and a step-in harness. Vest-style harnesses are a good choice because of how they distribute any pulling weight and pressure evenly across your cat's chest. They are also very secure and difficult for your cat to slip out of. While a great choice, there are a couple of downsides. Nothing is perfect after all. Depending on which one you get, the part that goes over your cat's head and around their neck is not always adjustable. And because the vest-style harness is made with more material than other harnesses mentioned, it is a bit bulkier. Pros: it's secure, difficult but not impossible for your cat to get out of, and all pulling pressure is directed to your cat's chest instead of their throat. Cons: depending on which one you get, it is not always as adjustable as some other harnesses, and it's on the bulkier side, so it can take longer for some cats to get comfortable with it. The walking jacket is kind of like a souped-up H-style harness. It is made of fabric with a wide piece that attaches around your cat's neck and another wider piece that attaches around their abdomen. Both straps are extremely adjustable, either with Velcro or sliding buckles. They also come in all kinds of fun colors and designs and are easily customizable with pins, patches, and embroidery. Unfortunately, the walking jacket does not have a piece that goes down your cat's chest, so any pulling pressure will be on your cat's throat. The neck piece is usually on the wider side though, making it safer than the thin straps of an H-style harness. Also, because of the amount of fabric, the walking jacket can be too bulky or hot for some cats. Pros: it's secure, difficult but not impossible for your cat to get out of. It's very adjustable, nothing goes over your cat's head, it's easy to put on, and it's stylish and customizable. Cons: it puts strain on your cat's throat if they pull on the leash, it's bulky, and if it has Velcro straps, the Velcro sound can be scary to some cats and require additional training and desensitization to get used to. There are more harness styles out there than the 5 I've covered here today. These are just the 5 that I've found to be most widely and commonly found and used. Whichever style of harness you decide to go with, it's important to make sure you get the right size and that you then fit it to your cat properly. If your cat's harness is too big or too small, you run the risk of your cat being uncomfortable or even escaping. Though most harnesses use the same measurements to determine size, not all harnesses have the same sizing system. For example, the measurements for a small size in one type of harness might be the measurements for a medium in another type. Most harness sizing charts go by your cat's neck and girth measurements. The neck measurement should be taken around the same area a collar would sit. The girth measurement should be taken around your cat's body or abdomen about an inch behind their front legs. Some harnesses also include a measurement for the length of your cat's body from shoulder to base of tail. Be sure to check the size guide for the harness you're looking at getting, take your cat's applicable measurements, and then select the corresponding size. You can find the size guides online for most harnesses. After you've selected your harness, it's extra important that you go through the harness training process before you try taking your cat outdoors. You don't want to just put the harness on your cat as soon as you get it. In fact, actually putting the harness on your cat isn't even one of the first 2 training steps. If you need help and guidance with the cat harness training process, I have a self-paced online harness and leash training course. It includes written, audio, and video lessons that guide you through picking out a harness and leash, the harness and leash training process, as well as the process of introducing your cat to the outdoors. There are also lessons on preventing harness escapes, what to do if your cat does escape, and other outdoor safety considerations. You can also ask all the questions you want, get all the personalized help you need, and even submit videos of your cat's training for review. Visit kittycatgo.com/harnesstrain for more info and to enroll, and use the discount code PODCAST10 at checkout for 10% off. Anyway, once your cat is ready to wear the harness, you'll need to make the necessary adjustments so it fits properly. Once all the straps have been adjusted, you should be able to fit 1 to 2 fingers between the harness straps and your cat's body. Now to answer one final question that I often get. What harnesses do I personally use with my cats? Right now, as of recording this in April of 2024, I use the Minwood Cat Jacket for Sophie, the RC Pets Adventure Kitty Harness for both Samson and Kylo, and the Come With Me Kitty Harness for Griffin. A few other harnesses that I use sometimes as well include the Cat School Harness, the Sleepy Pod Martingale Harness, and an All Cats Good Harness. If you are not familiar with any of these harnesses, they are all either a vest or walking jacket style, with the exception of the Come With Me Kitty Harness, which is a variation on the Roman harness style. Now you might be wondering why I use different harnesses with each cat, or even different harnesses for the same cat. Well, as I previously mentioned, what works best for one cat might not be what works best for another. My cat's sizes and body types are all different, so they have different needs. They each have different preferences as well. For example, Sophie is 100% comfortable in a walking jacket harness, but Griffin finds them to be too bulky, which is why I recently switched him over to the Come With Me Kitty harness. Kylo has long and thick black fur, so the walking jacket style harness is usually too hot for him unless it's wintertime. He can sometimes be a leash puller too, so I found that a vest style harness works best for him since it has the chest piece coverage. My cats are perfect examples of how there is no such thing as one perfect cat harness that will work best for everyone. I know I've covered a lot here today, so here's a quick recap. There is no such thing as an escape-proof cat harness, nor is there one perfect cat harness that works for every cat. As you shop around for harnesses, you want to check for the following features: adjustable straps, a solid D-ring for the leash attachment, lightweight yet durable material, and a harness that is easy to put on and take off. You might also want a harness that has a chest piece, reflective or high visibility material, and a pocket or place to attach a tracking device. The 5 most popular and commonly found harness styles are the Roman harness, H-style harness, step-in harness, vest-style harness, and the walking jacket harness. They each come with their own set of pros and cons, so it's important to do your research to decide which one might be best for you and your cat, and understand that you might have to try out more than one before you settle on your favorite. I hope you found all this information helpful as you make your harness selection. If you have any questions or need any help, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram at kittycatgoadventures. Are you enjoying the Kitty Cat Go Adventure podcast? Let me know by leaving a review. This will help others to find it and hopefully be inspired to get out there, try new things, and go new places with their cat. What questions do you have about adventuring with cats? Or maybe you'd just like to chat with me about what you learned in this episode. Find me on Instagram at kittycatgoadventures. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories so I can see who is listening. I'd love to continue the conversation with you, so find me on Instagram or join our Facebook group, Kitty Cat Go Adventure Team, so you can connect with a whole community of fellow cat adventurers. And as always, you can find the show notes, including all links and resources discussed in this episode at kittycatgo.com/podcast. Until next time, happy adventuring.